whoever is marketing this story of Gareth Southgate is really a ghoul when it comes to obviously getting social media focus onto a person that I think in his career he'll never become a manager of any top club. He'll never become a manager of any top club, and that is Gareth Southgate. But his PR machine is at work 24/7. You know, in these areas where, in these periods where Eric Ten Hag is going to be having on and offs, he has been really getting himself a very huge mileage in there for you. And to make it rough, even when Ten Hag goes ahead to win and goes on a good winning run, stories of Gareth Southgate still coming through, implicating that INEOS are really ready to sack Eric Ten Hag to give this guy a job. And this is really stupidity of the highest order that I've gonna hate to witness in the media. Who is really behind this cooking? You know, someone is cooking this story, but I don't see it boiling. You know, he has a lot of, do you know, being in a situation where you really have a lot of the burning energy, like the gas, like you have like 8 tankers of gas, but you are boiling a stone. I tell you, whichever person is putting out this story, he's boiling a stone. I tell you, the person is boiling a stone, and it won't really get ready. Tell me a person who's ever going to burn a stone, you know, and really get out something to eat out of it. So, welcome to this channel. Fabrizio Romano is in the mix, and very many other journalists that have gone ahead obviously coming through and really given us a very wider option of what INEOS is really looking at when it comes to the side of Gareth Southgate and very many others. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily. It's a Tuesday. Champions League football returns. Arsenal is taking on Bayern Munich at the Emirates, and Man City is playing away in Madrid. So we just can't wait to see how things really pan out into that system there. So we have Willy Kambwala. Ten Hag explained to us as to why he made a decision of really starting Willy Kambwala, yet he had other options obviously come out and really tick a little bit. And what else do we have? Donny van de Beek obviously not being given green light to obviously be bought on a permanent at Eintracht Frankfurt down in Germany. So how are you doing, my mates? Continue to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. We want to hit 17,100 subscribers, and it's you who are really going to help us reach that magic number. When I check here, let me check a little bit. Let me check a little bit and see how many subscribers are we really less to hit 100. We are left with 60 subscribers to hit 17,100 subscribers. So guys, let's continue to subscribe. 60 to go. 60 to go to clinch that mark, and I tell you, it's really gonna really hit us hard, and we're gonna really be the biggest beneficiaries onto this. Now the Muslims, Eid is tomorrow, and happy Eid in advance. And the Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. And after Eid, I think they have sit some 6 days of fasting that they obviously take on. Now the Insider went ahead to put out a story about this guy known as Gareth Southgate yesterday, that INEOS are massively pro Gareth Southgate. He has been mentioned in meetings, and this is where you come out and really believe that there is a PR machine doing this. According to the situation at Man United, and the managers are variable who have been tested and gotten approved, how do you tell me that Gareth Southgate is the name to front and be discussed about? How do you dare discuss about this guy? This guy is nowhere near good, you know. Look at the hierarchy of those Premier League managers that even manage in the bottom half. Let me look at the bottom half and really look at the managers of these teams. I tell you, they are really better than this guy, because most of them have come in through and they're not going to hit to get a sack. But this guy has gone ahead to get a sack on the job that he was doing, you know that very well, in Middlesbrough, and they never even gave him a chance. Let me show you this bottom half. I don't know why people even think about this guy, you know. Let me show you the bottom half. I'm going to try to name the managers that I'm really well conversant about and see whether this guy really comes close. I'm going to be random. In the 10th position, De Zerbi coaches Brighton. Do you think Do you think Gareth Southgate is anywhere near De Zerbi? The answer is no. Wolves, he's called Neil Watts, that guy that was linked to Man United. Do you think this guy is even close to the manager of Wolverhampton Wanderers? He's nowhere near, because this guy was at Bournemouth and he served Bournemouth last season, and he has a very good style of play and he's really good. Let's go to Fulham. Marco Silva. Marco Silva is by far a very good manager than this guy called Gareth Southgate. Brentford, the manager, Thomas Frank, by far better than this guy. When you look at Nottingham Forest, Nuno Espirito, very better manager according to me. Vincent Kompany is a better manager. So even the managers in the bottom half of the league are better than him, and Man United is not all after them. How can we go in for this guy? I just think someone is outside there trying to obviously see to it that he fronts this name. And I know why. Because this guy is a mate to Sir Dave Bracefield and Dan Ashworth. That is it. But I tell you, Roma takes a very high acceleration to move, but truth takes long to obviously come out. But when it comes out, it rubbishes out all the rumors, and then the canvas turns truth only, and the lies are no more to be seen. Now, UTD District, it's one of the most credible sources of Man United pages that are really given credible information coming in from that side. We've been told that despite rumors of Gareth Southgate being high on INEOS's potential manager list, the England manager is not liked by some within Man United. This does not include those related to INEOS. Those known in favour of Southgate still back Ten Hag to succeed at Man United. However, if there was a managerial change, Brighton's Robert De Zerbi has fans within Old Trafford. So, if you talk about De Zerbi, I'll come out and say, all right, I can listen to you, because I think he has gone ahead to show us that with limited resources at Brighton, he has a style of play. He has gone ahead to obviously improve players. He has a very good reputation when it comes to really nurturing young talent into the best of the talent that he's really having at Man United and is having at Brighton. So he is really a very good guy. I tell you, he's a very good manager, and he's not a big budget manager, meaning that if you get him quality players, like if he was at Brighton and Brighton had all what it takes to keep Caicedo, right? And they could keep Trossard, and they could keep McAllister, trust me, Brighton would have been a top 4 contender this season. That is it. But those two players they got out of them went ahead to affect them. Games of football won in the midfield, won and lost in the midfield, and that was one of the best midfields in the league. So if you really know what De Zerbi is all about, I can listen to De Zerbi. But all of those, when you put them together, De Zerbi, Gareth Southgate, and so on and so forth, every manager that is being linked to Man United doesn't have a better winning percentage than this manager. And amongst all managers that have gone ahead to come in throughout Man United, no one has gone ahead to have a better winning percentage at Old Trafford than Eric Ten Hag, other than Sir Alex Ferguson. And it's because of the longevity that Sir Alex Ferguson has gone ahead to be at the club of Man United, meaning that Mourinho was here for more years than Eric Ten Hag at the time of recording right now. But he found himself in a situation of not really registering the stats that Eric Ten Hag has gone ahead to register. When you really put Eric Ten Hag in comparison with Mikel Arteta, Jurgen Klopp, he has gone ahead to win more. He has a better winning percentage than those two combined. So it shows you how good it is. And this guy has a lot of stats backing him that you cannot easily think of sacking him. Statement Dave, only Sir Alex Ferguson has a better winning rate as a Manchester United manager at Old Trafford than Eric Ten Hag. Sir Alex Ferguson has 71.2%, Eric Ten Hag has 70.4%. And mind you, we are really having a very bad season this year. We are really having a very bad season. Let's all admit, the season is really ugly and it's not really giving us vibes after vibes. So that really shows you exactly how we need to find out a reason of really keeping this guy, because all the stats are indicating that he's really a very good manager. No one is really going to let him go. So for me, Gareth Southgate it's really stinky. And if at all it's one of those names that INEOS is really discussing, then INEOS is really not the right people to be here, because this guy is already a failed manager. We all know that. He is a failed manager. He couldn't really get Middlesbrough to the promised land. However much is the English national team manager, no team in the Premier League has gone ahead to point at him that please come and start managing us, because they know how crap he is. He's a crap manager, and that's why yesterday when Fabrizio Romano was like onto the United Matters channel, YouTube, he went ahead obviously put in a point that should put a caveat onto this. He said, what I'm hearing is the same. INEOS want to give time to Erik Ten Hag. INEOS are keeping all their options open and are having positive discussions with Erik Ten Hag. INEOS aren't speaking to any managers at this stage. You understand? So, for everyone who's going to come out and really try to trade nonsense that Erik Ten Hag is going to be sacked, that doesn't make sense. So, Fabrizio Romano is telling us that INEOS is positive and they want to keep Erik Ten Hag. Their structure, Ten Hag needs to first work under their structure, and if at all he fails, I'll be the first person to come out and say Ten Hag deserves a sack. That is it. But he has to be tested under INEOS, working under a competent board, because he's not having a competent sporting director, he's not having a competent technical director. The board list knows football. He never had a competent CEO who knows football, but now Omar Berada, on the 1st of June this year, he starts off as a United CEO, meaning that he's going to be working with competent people. This is what he has always gone ahead to be calling in for. When he was asked why the style of play at Man United is not the same at Ajax, he said, at Ajax I had two top people who are really good. My CEO Edwin van der Sar and the sporting director Mark Overmars, who are really good, and I'm not having the same structure at the club of Man United. So if if he has these people at Man United, he's gonna thrive, because they are gonna get him exactly what he wants. He'll tell them that Scott McTominay in my game of chess is a pawn. Can he really be gotten out of this team? Because I don't want him. I don't want Harry Maguire. I don't want so-and-so. I don't want Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Move them on and get me players, even though they are not as expensive as you want, but they are of pure quality. Because in this world, if you're really having a good scouting team, you can get in quality players. So everyone who wants Ten Hag out, you're really gonna find it hard. I'm not ruling it out that he's not gonna be sacked, but I don't see it happening, because Sir Jim Ratcliffe will always have to look at what happened at Chelsea. You know what happened at Chelsea very well, when they came in through and really hurried to sack a manager. And even them, they never went ahead to sack him at the end of the season. They gave Thomas Tuchel a go. You all agree with me. They gave him a very, 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 very good goal, and he was later sacked after really performing very badly into the Champions League. So it will be very insane for INEOS to get rid of Erik Ten Hag, yet even the insanest, owner of a club, Todd Boehly, went ahead to obviously give this guy a chance, and I think he got sacked in November, if I'm not mistaken, because Graham Potter started working at Chelsea as a manager in November of 2022. So this is a given. I don't see this guy really getting sacked. And he was asked on if Nagelsmann will be brought to Man United, because he's being linked to, in there he said, if Man United want to bring Julian Nagelsmann as their new manager, they would have to act fast, as he could sign a new deal with the Germany national team or return to Bayern Munich. Now, right now, what people don't know is that who is the head of recruitment at the club of Man United? It's not the CEO. The only person the CEO recruits is the sporting director. That is Dan Ashworth, that United want to get in. Now, Danny Ashworth is the one that appoints the manager. The CEO is responsible for really bringing in a sporting director and tells him that we want to be playing a style of football that looks like this, and tell me what you want. Tell me the manager you need. Tell me the players that you need, and we come and obviously go in for them. You get? So that is exactly what a CEO really goes ahead to do, and the sporting director. Now, you tell me that we want to sign in a manager when we don't have a CEO, right? That's really unthought of, and let's open up our eyes and really get to know how these basics really run. These things are really constant. A CEO will appoint a sporting director, and the sporting director will get in what we call a manager. Then the sporting director and the manager will sit and obviously get in the players that they want. So for me, I think Ten Hag is here and it's going nowhere. Let's go to Germany, Frankfurt, Germany, as Donny van de Beek was loaned there at the beginning of the year. And we've been told by Christopher Michel, Eintracht Frankfurt are not expected to trigger their 12 million euro buy option to sign Donny van de Beek this summer. He returned to Manchester United after the loan. So Donny van de Beek is really having a hell. I think in anything that he regrets joining the club of Man United in the summer of 2020. He's really having a very bad season, very, very, very bad season. And even when he has gone ahead to go to Frankfurt, he has not gone ahead to obviously be played very well. The day I got to know that things are not going in well for him is when they got him out of the squad that is going to play. Is it in the UEFA Europa League? I said, oh my God, why is this happening to my lad? But he has gone ahead to play 6 games ever since he went there. And I think they've gone ahead to play 15 games plus. And 0 goals, 0 assists. So it's really bad of him. And 18th April, he's making 27 years of age, and his return to Man United should really be seen as a moment of really getting him a better deal. For example, I really don't agree with anyone who went ahead to take him to Germany, because Premier League clubs wanted him, Spanish clubs wanted him, and I think he would have gone ahead to be loaned to either Serie A or the Spanish league as a player. But never say never. He might really rise his mentality, and then he'll get up and running. So it's really bad about him, and he's one of those players that we expected to sell and really get in like 12 million euros, that is like 10 million pounds, and add it to the amount of money we wanted to obviously sell the player. To buy in other players and really strengthen our recruitment at the club of Man United. So it really happens in a very bad way that no one has gone ahead to come to see to it that we get ourselves going in as far as these loans are really concerned. When you look at the loan of Alvaro Fernandez, it's really in the mud. They are also not willing to pay that amount of money. When you look at Donny van de Beek, it's the same. Honey Boy is the same. That's why we need a new technical director who knows how to solicit loans for these players, and that's why Wilcox, who was former at Man City, is really important into the structure, because he will get these players the best deals. And I think when Donny van de Beek returns, this guy will assess him, especially the technical director, and will find out a best loan move for him. I'm 100% sure about that. But it's a dent into our plan for the transfer window, because he's one of those players that we expect to get in 10 million pounds, and then we'll really get ourselves going. So we wait and see how he returns to Man United. And the biggest undoing for Donny van de Beek is how his former manager at Ajax went ahead not to see to it that he gets into the team. And what Ten Hag did was very important, that for everyone who thought that favoritism was at Man United and was going to obviously apply it, he really went ahead to prove us wrong, because all of us thought that Donny van de Beek was going to be the first person to get into that team of Erik Ten Hag. But shockingly, he was that person who failed to get into the team of Erik Ten Hag. Then Ten Hag had the following to say about Kambwala after the game of Liverpool that ended 2-2, after he went ahead to put in a beast performance at Old Trafford. And he said, the decision to bring Willy in is because he has been a long time training. He has been a long time training with us, and his first game against West Ham United, he also did very well. His progress is amazing. We are convinced he could do the job, and he has done brilliantly. I'm very pleased, very happy, and it's another signal and message of the future of United. This team, the squad has high potential, and if we get more players available, especially in the back line, where we have 27 different organizations across the season, then the future will be very good. So, Ten Hag is going to be having a problem of injuries. And when I look at Ferdinand coming out and saying that injuries are not a problem to Man United, let him come out and tell us how many different central defense pairings he played in when he was playing under Sir Alex Ferguson. He had the following people: Wes Brown, there came Nemanja Vidic, there came Gabriel Heinz, and there came John Evans. And most of the times he played with Nemanja Vidic, like 90% of the season he played with Nemanja Vidic, and literally he was benched. Then John Evans patterned Vidic, Hall Ferdinand patterned John Evans. In a season he changed like partnership, like we had like 3 or 4 partnerships change. Tell me the world where you cannot come out and really accept the manager's explanation that injuries are going to obviously affect us, and the reason as to why we conceded very many goals is because of that. Now Willy Kambwala came in through to join the party and partnered with Harry Maguire, So where do you find it in the world that your centre-back pairing changes 27 times a season? That's nowhere to be seen. Man City, you'll see that John Stones and Ruben Diaz do the job. If not, it's Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake. It's like it changes like 3, 4, 5 times a season, But at Man United, it has going to change a lot. At Arsenal, it hasn't even changed ever since Gabriel Magalhaes got into the central defense pairing this season with Saliba. So I think Kambwala is good, but 27 organizations of center-back pairings, that is uncalled for, and I think it's one of those moments that you shouldn't really underestimate. So for me, Kambwala, he has the world at his feet. Let's wait and see whether he starts over the weekend when you're playing against Bournemouth away, and I would love to see him start, because when these youngsters coming through, there is that energy they really bring into the team. So guys, your thoughts on Southgate to Man United truth are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about Donny van de Beek deal not gonna happen? He's returning to Man United, and Kambwala impressing Eric Ten Hag and giving us what he deserves, giving the fans what they deserve. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David is my name. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as don't miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. I sign out for now. See you later, my mates. Tomorrow is Eid, so Muslims, you have all the time to enjoy yourselves. I'm out. See you later, my lovely mates. Bye-bye.